Gfem, thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. Just want to let everybody know Gfem is a motivational speaker and a relationship speaker. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and I'm thrilled to be here. Like you said, I'm a motivational speaker. I inspire people. I motivate them to do great things in life, to chase their dreams and fulfill their purpose. At the same time, I look at the lives of people because we have dimensional aspects of our lives. It's not just that we're going to work alone. We have folks that are getting married or they're already married. So I give them nuggets on how to find a partner, nuggets on how to sustain their relationship and to have a healthy relationship as well.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. We definitely need that in today's society. So Gfem, could you tell us a little bit about what made you start this particular business? What made you want to become a motivational and a relationship speaker?
Well, my reason actually came from when I was young. When I was, I believe, 16 or 17 years old. I attended Baltimore City College High School in Baltimore. And there was a program that was introduced from Dale Carnegie.
Okay.
Great speaker, phenomenon. And but he had a program that I guess it was taken to different schools, and it was introduced to my high school. I believe I was at 10th grade at that time. So I took the opportunity. It was a summer-long program. I went for that program, and during one of our sessions, we were asked, because there were like students from different schools. It wasn't just my school.
Right.
So we're asked to develop stories and share any story that, any situation you've gone through. Just bring it and come share it with other students. So I put my story together. I mean, I was just young,
right.
I was just putting things together, put my story together. The following day, I went to class and they asked for all the students to share their story. So I shared my story. And at the end of the session for that day, the instructor said, hey, we're gonna give an award.
Wow.
And he gave me an award for best motivational speaker. I was like, wow, my story must be that touching.
Right.
But I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that was the seed or the beginning of sowing that seed of motivational speaking at that time. So fast forward many years later, let's say 15, 20 years later.
Okay.
Then God started talking to me that, hey, you need to start sharing motivational messages, inspirational messages, positive messages to help the lives of people. Right. Yes, I understand that you love relationship, you're helping people in their relationship, but this is another thing that you probably have not thought about that I am putting into your mind. So when that word came, I'm a spiritual man to some extent. When that word came, I keyed into it.
You just knew.
I just knew, and then I just started putting stories together, putting words together, and just began sharing motivational messages. So once a week now, I have like a 5-minute motivational message that I share on social media.
So what kind of feedback have you received from some of your audience? Like, what are the things that they're saying? How have you impacted them with your speaking?
Absolutely. I've heard a lot of testimonies.
Okay.
I've heard people say, wow, that message was deep. I'm kind of being lazy now. Hearing that word, it's like I gotta stop procrastination. Right. I gotta get into the habit of having my goals written down and go get, make sure that all these things that I have written on the paper, I'm accomplishing them. I've had people come to me and say, look, man, what you just spoke about just transformed my life because I've been waiting on miracles for so long.
Right.
But now it's like I know there's work that I have to do as well because God has already blessed me, but I'm staying and I'm not doing anything. But if you're not doing anything, you're not going to see your miracle. And I like to use this example. If we were to have a layman here and we have a pastor who comes here and says, man, you are healed, right? He said the word, you are healed.
Right.
If that layman doesn't get up and walk, you're not going to see the miracle, right?
True.
But the layman is already healed. But he's not taking that action to walk, to get up.
I see.
Yeah.
So from that, you help motivate individuals from all different backgrounds. Am I right?
Yes.
Right. And just to kind of divert a little bit, I know that you're married right now. So how long have you been married?
It's coming 5 years in December.
So I know some of your work focuses on relationship a lot. And so those married couples that are going through issues and things like that, how have your speeches and motivational things, have you seen any transformation in someone's life that has been married and, you know, they were going through a struggle and they listen to you and they're like, I got it?
It's quite fascinating that you said that. Recently, I coached a young man who's been married almost the same time I've been married, 5 years. And he was going through trouble with his wife. He said some mean and bad things to his wife. He couldn't control his emotions. Doesn't know how to control his emotions. So he said these things to his wife, and his wife was just mad. And the wife didn't even want to talk to him. So him and I were just having a conversation. He did not even know I'm a relationship speaker. So, but while we were talking, and I was saying some things about relationship, and he looked at me and was like, are you a marriage counselor? I said, yeah. He's like, wow, man, if you knew all this while, would have been coming to me.
Right.
But anyway, it was now sharing a particular situation with his wife that, you know, he cursed his wife out this morning, and the wife doesn't want to speak, and what should I do? So I started now giving him some points. And let me tell you one point that I gave to him. I said, when you guys get in an argument, you get mad, right? He said, yes. Why do you get mad? It's because of what the woman, the wife, was telling him. Maybe, you know, he feels like a king and the wife is just belittling him, emasculating him, or saying some mean things, you know, calling him stupid, he's an idiot. Yeah, you hear those things.
Right.
And sometimes women make mistakes. We say things that we're not supposed to say. But here's the thing. There are two things that you need to do. One, you have to have patience. Because when you are dealing with women, generally, they love to talk. They like to share things. They like to express things. You know, there's a study that shows that women speak about 30,000 words a day, whereas a man is like 10,000 words. So when you have a wife who is always going to be talking, you cannot win a battle with that kind of a woman, or women generally, because they are in their comfort zone. So what do I need to do? I want you to be patient. Suspend your reaction. Suspend what you want to say. Second thing, you see, that's easy to say, right? Say, suspend whatever you want to say in your mind. But here's somebody telling you you're an idiot, you're stupid, you know, you get mad just hearing that. I said, that's hard to do. But here's the practical thing that I want you to do. Because sometimes, and I want to take this to church a little bit, we hear preachers preach, and they tell you don't do this, don't do that. But we don't hear often how that should be done. So I tell people, I'm not going to preach to you. I'm going to teach you principle of what can help you. So preaching is me telling you have patience. Right? Now, the teaching aspect is, how am I going to have patience? Now, here's the key thing. I want you to have dialogue with yourself. Whenever you are hearing your wife telling you something you don't want to hear, you got to have internal dialogue. So it is not what Felicia says to James. It is what James says to James that matters. So once you are able to do that, and you kind of override the negative messages that are coming with the positive message you are telling yourself, it helps you to build your confidence or your emotions and to suspend your reaction.
So do you have a framework do you provide to young men and women in relationships to help them overcome some struggles? Like a certain, like what would be the 5 best things or the top 3 best things to help kind of sustain a relationship?
Absolutely. Before I answer that question, I want to finish
the
previous question. So when I told him that, a few days later, I followed up with him. I said, how's your relationship going? He said, it's going well. It's going great. He said, as a matter of fact, a night ago, him and his wife, they got into an argument, but he remembered what I said. So he chilled. He didn't say anything. And then he went to the bedroom. He sat in the bedroom, was just on his computer. And later the wife came, and the wife said, I'm sorry for what I said. So, but imagine if he didn't have patience. Imagine if he didn't have positive dialogue with himself. Imagine if he was responding to his wife the way the wife was responding to him. They wouldn't have ended that argument. The wife wouldn't have apologized to him. As a matter of fact, he could have probably said something negative to the wife, and the wife just be like, wow, so you like that? So you that mean?
I see.
So now you have a new question for me.
Yeah. Yeah, so in a sense, the question is based off what kind of framework would you provide for men and women seeking relationship advice? Like, what is the top 3 advices that you received that help young men and women?
Would this question address both men and women, or just specifically?
Well, focus on the men first, and then you can kind of provide advice for the women as well.
Okay. So for a man, I would say one of the first things that you need to know is having patience. Okay. If you are not patient, you cannot enjoy your wife or your woman. It's impossible.
Okay.
So that's one.
Okay.
Another thing that you need to know is to spend as much time with your wife. Because we men, we get caught up in everyday hustling. We want to make money. And we feel that that is the only thing that makes a man. And that's the only thing that makes a relationship. But that's not true. Because if you miss dialoguing with your wife, communicating with your wife, letting your wife understand what's going on in your mind, because men, we tend not to share what we are going through with our wives. So we have to come out of our shell and engage with your partner, whatever you are feeling, whatever you are going through, whatever your plan is.
Okay. What about the woman's perspective? Like, what advice would you provide for women?
For a woman, you need to know how to ask questions. Ask a man questions. When you are asking a question of why, because sometimes men, we do stupid things. We do stupid things.
Very true, very true, very true. I can agree.
So when you are asking him why, after he's made a lot of mistakes, when you ask a man a why question, it makes him want to be defensive. Because it's like you are challenging him. Why did you do this? Why is this happening? So you don't want to be asking why. You want to ask a question that will help him to open up and express more. So tell me how this happened. Now, when you're saying, tell me how it happened, it's giving you stories, right? Okay. When you're saying, why did this happen? It can actually flip it on you and say, oh, you're the reason why it happened. You're the cause of it. It's something you don't want to hear.
Right.
Yeah, so it's changing that question from why to ask.
So we're looking at men being patient, women asking questions to kind of create a compromise and understanding one another. Definitely understand that. So one of the biggest things that happen today on social media in this generation is short-term relationships because of these social media and these other social apps like Tinder, you got Soul Swipe, you got Bumble. So what advice would you provide for this generation, the millennials, in relationships because of social media? Because it's really short-term now. What advice would you provide to them to try to create a healthy relationship or meeting someone that they would be interested in marrying?
And when you say short-term and also looking at social media, and are you coming from the angle of saying social media plays a role in making that relationship not sustainable? Right?
Yes.
Just for me to
understand
the question. Okay. Social media does play a role. I remember when I was still out there in the world, I met a lot of women on social media. It was social media. That's a quick way to meet people.
Right.
And then it was short-lived relationship.
Very true.
Because, I was seeing too many people, too many girls that just wanted to be in my environment, because at that time I was throwing parties. So you have these ladies that they want to get into the party for free, or they have these ladies because, you're the life of the party, the people know you, they know your name, they want to be around such. So it's hard to keep a relationship from that aspect. However, it's still possible to have a long-term relationship. You just have to reevaluate your values. You have to know why you are getting a relationship in the first place. If your reason is not strong enough, if your reason is pretty much, I just want to have somebody there for a couple of months, then that's what it is. Because there was a time that I shared something about the different psyche of people in different age group, how they think. For an example, somebody who is 21 years of age, 22 years of age, it's hard for that person to want to have a long-term relationship because they're still in college.
Right.
They're not thinking about marriage. So they just want to size you up. They want to hang out with you. You guys want to travel together, do different things. And not to say you're not going to find a 22-year-old getting married. There are some. But majority of people, they are not thinking long term. So I think that also plays a role while relationships are short-lived, when you're starting to put social media into it.
Okay. So I know you've been doing this for quite some time. Where do you see this motivational and relationship business taking you in the next 5 to 10 years?
I actually want to reach billions of people.
Okay.
I want to reach billions of people. One of my objectives is I want to sit in my house and I'm talking to billions of people without even having to leave my house. That's what I
that's
wanna,
the goal.
That's
okay.
the goal.
Okay.
I want to reach billions of people because I want to able to spend more time with my family
Right.
as well. But aside from that, I want to be able to do things that is not norm. People want to go around different events and you have millions of people there. Yeah, I also want that too.
Okay.
But I want to be at an event and I want to speak to billions of people. But at the same time, I want to do it at the comfort of my house. And not only that, not just because of my comfort of my house, I want to make a change in the lives of those people.
Okay.
And I want to also change the face of inspiration or how you can get message across to people. I love formal setting, but if people know me very well, I'm kind of informal.
I see.
So I want to do things in an informal way, and people still get blessed.
I see.
Let me give you an example. If I'm doing a Facebook Live,
Okay.
even though I have a message for you, I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. If I want to play piano, I want to play piano while I'm still not giving you message. So I want you to follow me, what I'm doing.
Right.
Be zoom into my personality.
Right.
And then you still get the message.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've noticed that, you see a lot of motivational speakers and everyone has an approach to how they reach their demographic. And I really am intrigued by your approach. I know that if that's the end goal for the 5 to 10 years down the line, what are you doing right now to kind of get you to that point?
Yes, good point. I listen to a lot of motivational speakers. I listen to how they introduce themselves. I listen to how they structure their message, because I believe to reach out to many people, or billions of people, or millions of people, you got to have the word. You got to have the message. Right. So how I can develop myself is what I'm doing right now. I can hone my skills, sharpen that skill. So I listen to people like Les Brown, who's been doing it for so many years, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, those type of people.
Eric Thomas, the rest of them.
Exactly,
Right.
E.T., so I listen to, and they have different styles.
Everyone has a different style.
Yeah. So it's coming to my own. It's okay. What's going to be my own style?
How are you building your brand, right?
Building your brand, right? So I'm learning that right now,
Okay.
And getting myself out there and sharing messages. So that's my approach this moment,
Okay.
and hopefully, somebody will just walk in my way and be like, wow, I love what you said. Let's expand this,
Okay.
beyond the reach right now.
Okay. So what is the best advice you received from a mentor that has helped you get to where you are today?
Interesting. I don't have a mentor.
Okay.
And the reason why I said I don't have a mentor is I don't have someone that I'm close to that can actually say this is how you do things, right? I've always imagined myself 20 years, 30 years down the road, where am I gonna be? And I use that to push myself to say, okay, the person I see 20 years or 30 years down the line, this is how this person looks. Okay. For an example, 10 years down the line, maybe I'm talking to 1 billion people. How am I doing that? So if I'm doing that, then I need to start doing that right now.
Okay.
So I use myself, it's like a different image of myself as a mentor. Okay. Now, notwithstanding, people can tell you, you don't have to have somebody there with you that is walking you. You can have someone that you've not even met, that you follow. So I have distant mentors. If you want to look at mentoring from that aspect, maybe like someone like Les Brown that I listen to. So we can look at it from that angle that, okay, that might be your distant mentors. You have not met him before. He doesn't know you.
Exactly.
That might be your distant. So from that angle, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what is one thing that you would leave the viewers today? What is one advice you would leave the viewers today?
What I would tell you today is find your purpose in life. Find your purpose, because that's what is going to make you happy.
Okay.
Nothing else you do outside your purpose will make you fulfilled.
Okay.
Nothing else. This past week, I went to a high school because I go to different high schools and I do motivational speaking. I encourage them to set goals and to accomplish those goals. And I told them, I said, look, man, you know, what I'm doing right now, even though I'm not making money from it, but it's what makes me happy.
Right.
But I know the money is going to come eventually.
Okay.
I know. So
Awesome.
Get into your purpose, set goals, and go at those goals and accomplish them.
Awesome. Phenomenal. Gfem.
Yes.
Hey, thank you for coming out today. I appreciate it. We loved your advice. You know, everyone's going to take note on all the things that you know, produced today. So could you let everybody know where they can find you?
Absolutely. You can go on Facebook at Gfem Speaks, Instagram at Gfem Speaks, and Twitter at Gfem Radio. Or you can just easily go to my website, which is gfemspeaks.com.
Awesome. Well, everybody, you guys know, you know where to find him. You know where to look out for his information. Definitely check him out. If you need some inspiration or for your relationship issues, definitely check out Gfem. Thank you for coming today, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Not a problem.